is the law of freedom. That's the only law that we're interested in here. Our main objective must be to stay free. Do not be an idealistic lover of freedom, because that's just a vacation. Do you hear me? That's just a resort. They idealistically love freedom, and they go sit in the grass, and they're free as hell all day till the police come and tell them, you better get out this grass. Y'all got 10 minutes. Am I correct? Then the hippie movement is over with. It's over with. Y'all got to go. Some of our organizations was hippie movements. They was lovers and caught up into freedom. But they didn't organize to maintain freedom. See, that's where reverence comes in. When you have reverence for something, your reverence maintains it. You have to revere something. You just can't be on a lucid dream. You have to revere it. Some people, okay, we can get 100 pounds of tea in here, and everybody can get high off tea, or even marijuana. I gotta mention that. We can get 100 pounds of marijuana in here. We can all smoke it up, and it's all gone. We don't got no more. Reverence restocks. You understand what I'm saying? Reverence resupplies. Reverence organizes supply. Because if you don't have the reverence and the organization, guess what? It will not be maintained. So for some, freedom is just a trip. It's a trip that they're going on. It is not an organized approach. When you don't have organization, you have a lot of gossip. You have a lot of conspiracy theories. You have people with a lot of time on their hands to self-destruct. Because if you're not using your energy productively to create what you want to see manifest, I guarantee you are using it against it. You gotta love organization more than you love being confused. More than you love being distracted. More than you love being entertained. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You got to. If you love organization more than that, then you will have more reverence for the right use of your time and energy. And you could not what? You could not allow yourself to be distracted. It's going to take missions for what we need done as a community to change our community. We're going to need missions. We're going to have to be missionaries in order for what we want to be created. So what we're doing here is not setting up a judgmental order system. Because what a person chooses to do at the end and the beginning of the day ranges from society to society, from country to country, from state to state. But our concern is what lovers of freedom want to do. You got to realize, I say all the time, I'm not a psychologist. I don't even present myself as a nutritionist or a healer, even though we all should have those capacities, because you got to be allowed to be free. You got to be healthy to be free. But my relationship to you all is as a lover of freedom. First, because you can be healthy in jail if you got the right connects. I know people that went to jail and they had people dropping off vegetarian meals to them every day in federal prison. Every day. Sisters cooked them a vegetarian meal. They got it every day. That's a fact. You can be healthy in jail. You can be right in a concentration camp. But you're right. You're definitely right. You definitely going to heaven with Jesus, but in this life, you're going to be in a concentration camp. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? People don't rationalize that. It's a difference between what is a love or freedom. Some slaves ate good. Some slaves ate better than runaways. And they didn't want to leave the master's house because they ate so well. They didn't want to step out of that paradigm. When we talk about lovers of freedom, we're talking about levels of organization to maintain freedom. That becomes the priority. That becomes the priority. Levels of freedom. Now, in order to love freedom, you have to love those of which are the conduits of freedom. Nationalism is a conduit to freedom. Loving your people is a conduit to personal freedom. Do you hear what I'm saying? Why is that? Because your enemy is enslaving you based on what? Exactly. Based on your color. Based on your melanin content. Based on your ancestors. Your enemy is profiling you for that. That's what he's driving around looking for. To make us fill up 70% of the jails. So in order to love freedom, you must organize with those whose freedom is what? Being jeopardized. So you got to love those who can fight against a common enemy. It don't make sense to love the slave master, the slave driver. We know what that will get us. So we got to love what? Those who are about freedom. I'm going somewhere with this. We can't just love those that are vegetarians. We can't just love those that are martial artists. We can't just love those that got money, nice clothes, nice cars. Who we gotta love? Exactly. We got to, because our freedom depend on it. Because all those people that love all those other things get you caught up. Because if they love those things that much, when it comes to them things and freedom, they go on with them things. And guess what? You going to. That's a fact. We are in a situation where we are the original people of this land. And we have to pay this European to live here. We're slaves. We have to work for him or depend on his political reality, which is artificial and de facto. We have to depend on that for our subsistence. That's slavery. We got to step out of that. If we're the aboriginal people of this land and that resonates with our heart, then we should be free in this land. In this land. I'm not talking about in Africa. We should be free here. We should be free wherever we're at. That sounds good. But what would that take? Organization. Diligence. Devotion. Determination. Discipline. I love them D words. It's going to take that. We are in a society where we have accepted everything that he got going on. We're entertained by it. We're moved by it. We've been regulated by it. We've accepted it over many, many years. It's time that we learn to love our own freedom. And not as a liberation theology, not as a great book, a great lecture, but as a great reality. That's why we call this the Black Reality Center, because this is the reality of freedom. We know here that freedom is possible for us. That's how we got to this point. If we didn't know that, we wouldn't be right here. We also know it can be bigger and greater for us. But it won't be greater and bigger for us till more of us know that. Do y'all hear me? Not think that or believe that, but know that. When more of us know that, it will grow for more of us, and it will grow into something bigger. Some of us are at the line. Well, this is still going on with the world. This is still going on with the white man, and you got to do this and do it like this. Know thyself. On the walls in Egypt, it doesn't say know the white man. Know thyself and thy own capabilities. And it's immense what we're capable of doing. So before we start living in ourselves to what is believed to be going on, because you can't believe nothing that the white man say, we should assess our own capabilities. And I don't think we've done that. Because freedom is idealistic for us. It's not real. It's a color. It's red, black, and green. It's a dashiki. It's a kufi. It's not a reality. It's a style of wearing your hair or your clothes. How can we say freedom if we don't free the land? How do we free the land if we are not organized? The only solution is becoming more organized than those that are against you. That's it. Not making more money. When they lack money, they get innovative and they still come up with ways to maintain power. Am I correct? So what money got to do with this? When they run out of money, they get creative. Because their objective is to maintain power. Our so-called leaders' objective is to make money. When I look out my window, I want to see the black man and woman ruling everything out there. Money doesn't even register. That's how the white man sees it. He looks out and he says, yeah, I want that. But you don't have any money. I'll get it. We'll get it. We'll figure it out. We're going to have that. That's the attitude he got. Money is second. We'll get a loan. Hell, we'll write it. We'll write it off. We'll do something. I'm having that. That's an attitude. They find a way. They're devoted to what they want to create. And they don't want to hear nothing about no laws or nothing. Rewrite. Tell them to write it. Call City Hall. Tell them they're going to have to rewrite that. They're aggressive in bringing their reality into existence. We question everything we want to do like this world does not belong to us. This planet is ours. Every part of it. But we got to start being able to see it from that perspective. And that's not walking around being dogmatic and spewing out rhetoric. That's willing to become organized. We don't have an inkling of what we had in Kemet. Is it because we don't know the history? Is it because we can't spew out all the pharaohs' names? Is that our problem? What's our problem? We're not organized. We don't want to be organized. How much organization did it take them to build the pyramids in Egypt? Come on. They had to be organized. Some people say, well, they just use their mind and all that. You're lazy as hell, man. They lift the bricks. Nigga want to find any way and get around the work. They just levitated. They ain't do nothing. They just use their mind. They had to work and they had to be organized. Our enemies are organized. That's all they got. They're not ordained by God to do these things like they say in the Constitution. We're ordained by God and we hold these truths to be. You better keep holding them. There is no divine power backing the white man. He's just organized. That's it. We're disorganized. Why? Because we find partying, smoking weed, and the romantic aspects of freedom more significant than what it takes to be a free people. Native Americans talk about they want freedom, but on their reservations they just smoking weed.